All right, let's talk about something every developer loves, free stuff, specifically the AWS Free Tier. It's this incredible invitation to experiment and build in the cloud. But, and this is a big but, that invitation has some serious fine print that can lead to some not-so-fun surprise bills. So today, we're going to demystify the whole thing and show you how to use it as the powerful tool it's meant to be, not a trap.
So let's just get right to it. The big question on everyone's mind. Is it actually free? The short answer is yes, but that but is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Your freedom is really defined by a specific set of rules, limits, and timeframes. Understanding them is absolutely the key to using AWS without breaking the bank.
You see, to get to the bottom of this, we need to understand that free on AWS isn't just one single thing. It's actually a mix of different offers, and each one has its own terms. So let's break down the two main categories you're going to run into.
Okay, first up, you've got the 12-month free trial. This gives you access to a ton of powerful services, but the clock is ticking. After 1 year, you start paying. Then you have the Always Free tier. These services, as the name suggests, stay free forever, just as long as you stay within their monthly usage limits. Knowing which is your first line of defense against surprise costs.
All right, let's dive into the nitty-gritty, starting with the real workhorses of AWS, compute and serverless functions. These are usually the first things developers start playing with, so getting a handle on their limits is critical.
Let's kick things off with AWS Lambda, which has one of the most generous always free offers out there. You get 1 million requests and over 3 million compute seconds every single month forever. This makes Lambda just an incredible playground for building and testing out serverless apps without spending a single dime.
Next up is EC2, your virtual server in the cloud. Now, this is part of the 12-month trial, but there is a crucial catch you have to know about. Not every instance type is free. To stay in that free tier, you have to choose an Amazon Machine Image, or AMI, that is explicitly marked free tier eligible when you launch it. One wrong click, and that server starts costing you money right away.
Okay, now let's switch gears to databases and storage. I mean, storing and retrieving data is the core of most applications, right? And AWS has some really powerful free options here too. But just like with compute, the devil's in the details.
For those of you who are familiar with relational databases like MySQL, PostgreSQL, or SQL Server, the Amazon RDS free tier is gonna be your go-to. For 12 months, you get 750 hours of a small instance each month, which is enough to run it 24/7, plus 20 gigs of storage and backups. It's a really comprehensive package for a full-blown relational database. But just remember, this is not an always free service.
Now, on the flip side, Amazon DynamoDB is a perfect example of an always free service. For all your NoSQL needs, you get 25 gigabytes of storage, plus pretty generous read and write capacity forever. This is a service you can actually build on for the long haul, potentially without ever paying a cent, as long as you stay within these limits. Okay, so now we're heading into some trickier territory. Some AWS services have free offers that don't really fit neatly into that 12-month or always free box. These are the little gotchas that can catch even seasoned developers off guard if you're not paying close attention. So take AWS Device Farm, for example. It's this awesome service that lets you test your mobile app on a massive fleet of real physical devices in the cloud. Sounds amazing for making sure your app works everywhere, right? And they give you a free taste to get you started. But here's the fine print. The free offer for Device Farm is a one-time credit of 250 device minutes. It is not a monthly allowance. Once you burn through those minutes, they are gone for good. It's a super common trap to mistake this one-off trial for a recurring monthly budget.
And here's another pitfall you see all the time. Services like Elastic Beanstalk are, by themselves, free. AWS doesn't actually charge you for the orchestration service itself, but Elastic Beanstalk works by deploying other AWS resources for you, things like EC2 instances and load balancers, and you absolutely do pay for those underlying resources once they go over their own free tier limits. So the service is free, but what it builds for you might not be.
So, with all these potential costs kind of lurking in the shadows, how do you stay in control? How do you use the free tier for what it's for, learning and experimenting without getting that horrible surprise at the end of the month?
This is honestly the most important question we can ask. The good news is AWS gives you the exact tool you need to protect yourself. It's not turned on by default, but setting it up is probably the single most important thing you can do as a new AWS user.
That tool is a billing alarm, and here's how you set it up in 4 simple steps. First, enable billing alerts in your account preferences. Second, go to Manage Billing Alerts. Third, create a new alarm. And finally, and this is the key part, set the alarm to trigger when your charges exceed 1 cent, just 1 penny. That way, the very moment you step outside the free tier, you'll get an email, and you can shut things down before any real costs start racking up.
So what's the final verdict here? Is the AWS Free Tier a trap or a tool? Well, the answer really comes down to your approach. If you have the right strategy, it's an incredibly powerful asset for any developer.
So here's my advice. Treat the AWS Free Tier like your own personal sandbox. Use it to learn, to build, and to experiment. Try to favor the always free services for any long-term projects. Be really mindful of that 12-month clock on the trials, and most important of all, set up that billing alarm. If you're smart about it, you can gain a massive amount of cloud expertise for exactly 0 cost. At the end of the day, the question isn't whether it's free, but whether you're ready to use it wisely.
And that's it for this explainer. If you found this guide to the AWS Free Tier helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more practical tech breakdowns just like this one. Thanks for watching.